for Magic, as he is somehow, some way coming back into this game. Well, we see another raid coming over here. We've got the heavy Hippocon. Nice play from Mr. Super active with these Hippocon. Now Magic is pushing Matrius back, who is really struggling here. But Matrius taking the forward town center, taking the initiative here. Do we see a heroic edge? We've got Aphrodite coming in. Aphrodite is going to be huge. That minion line, very, very strong against the heroic age of Magic. But then if you go too heavily into the minion lines, you will get hit. Oh, the Logos coming down. They take it all. This is really good. 5 villager kills here. The curse comes down, takes down a bunch of the units, forces Magic back. And even though the fortress goes down, you just see all of these militia popping out, and it's like, God, Mista's at 129 population. This guy's at 66 population now. Magic going after these food, these gold villagers here. This is going to be huge, as we're seeing Squash having to retreat here. He's probably going to have to cast Restoration in order to continue in this game, which is not something that... And Mista is just all over Ghost Lake in this matchup, completely demonstrating the power of Norse. The Norse Rush, so incredibly strong here. He's housed in the gold mine. He's all in the face of Ghost Lake, and Ghost Lake has got no breath to breathe here, no room to move, and it's just completely lights out here. Impeccable play from Mista. The siege towers hitting the town center. We see a shifting sands here from Magic. Very, very smart. That's a lot of resources lost there, but Squash counters it with his own shifting sands. There is the rain from Magic to block the Locust. Very, very smart there by Magic yet again, but you just have to retreat here. Just retreat. The mercenary cavalry have already been made. They die. I hate it. You hate to see it. The town center gets a lot of damage dealt, but that there was 900 resources for the siege tower. These mercenary cavalry still fighting, and if they don't die with their lifespan, they have gotten their money's worth. We see the siege tower coming back in. More mercenary cavalry going to be hitting this one. With only one siege works here. These siege towers come out too slow to go in one by one. You see the town center doing a lot of damage done. Squash still sitting one town center here, and Magic has managed to hold on for the time being. What is going on, everyone? My name's Boit, and I'm back with some more Age of Mythology. The Titans action spawning in the left side of the map in the red color, playing as Isis. His name is Magic. His opponent today in the blue color, playing as Odin. His name is TheMista. The map is Tundra. It's been almost 3 years, or even more than 3 years, since we've seen these guys play. These guys have played together a total of 13 times in a competitive tournament setting for money. It is 6-7 through this series between these two players, possibly one of the tightest series between two players in the history of Age of Mythology here. Coming at you 2021 for the 7th or the 14th series between these guys. The battle of the GOATs, if you ask me. We've got Mista, we've got Magic, we've got a series best of 5 here for 300 smackaroonies. Wow, what a time to be alive. Mista rolling in with the Odin here, map Tundra. Magic with the Ice. It's going to be an interesting one to come in right now. Both players have come back fairly recently. Probably a lot of rust going on, trying to shake it off and trying to get to that level before the drop of Age of Empires 4. I know both players are extremely excited about playing that and getting extremely good at that game really, really quickly. So we'll see where they're at in this. Magic running with the Isis in this one. It's a very interesting pick on this map in particular if he was expecting to see the Odin. Now, Magic is going to have to know how to get in with the Anubites. If we've been watching any of the Soup versus Isis shenanigans or set shenanigans, the Egyptian players have been having a lot of success with their Anubites in this matchup. So we'll see if that's what Magic's going to do. or if Magic sticks in with that stock standard Isis Ancestors Eclipse shenanigans. Now, we'll see what Mista's got plans for. We've already got a really, really forward aggressive couple of obelisks here for Magic, but Mista is currently chopping his wood down, getting his economy going, doing all the good things. There's a lot of options for Mista in this matchup, and a lot of them involve simply just having to survive whatever the Isis player decides to do. And if you can survive them without taking too much damage, 9 times out of 10 you're ahead, and then you can make a big push after that one. So we'll see how this is all gonna come out here in this one. We've got some relics on the map. We do have the Gruknir Odin Spear, huge relic for the Odin player because it says it's the Odin Spear, right? You have to pick it up. No, just me, maybe, I don't know. We've also got the head of Orpheus here, the extra 8 building line of sight. Actually a really, really good relic. Definitely want to pick that one up if you see that one there. And it's convenient for you. Random temple being placed here by Magic decides against his first decision that's probably not a good idea. Might have even been in range of Forest Fire, dropping that one there. So deciding to delete that, put it in the back of his base. He's got his monument up, getting the temple up, already has a ton of villagers on gold. This does indicate to me he wants to go double monument here. If we chuck on our cheeky thing, you can see he's getting that gold coming out that wood. He's also getting a lumber camp right now. Getting the lumber camp, this indicates that he's wanting to classical fight, because if he's going to be going for a fight, well, actually could fast heroic here. You could fast heroic with the lumber camp, 1 town center fast heroic. Basically, this lumber camp indicates that Magic is going 1 town center. We're not going to be seeing a fast second town center in this game from Magic. Now, Mista, on the other hand, what is he doing? He's got his temple up right now. He's going up through Freya. He's got the forward temple. Magic sees this one very, very clearly. In fact, he's got the double obelisk here to check this out, and he's going to know exactly what Mista's going to want to do here. Mista's going to be bashing these obelisks down with his Ulfsar, getting just a little bit of favor for himself, and we'll see how this is all going to go here, as both players should be on their way to the next age fairly soon. We still have, there's the Monument to the Soldiers. This does not indicate Anubis just yet. Anubis indicates Anubis. You can go Bast here. You can even get some Sphinx out to do some Sphinx raiding, or just go to the Heroic Age and start spamming out Scorpion Man. It's all good. But Magic definitely going very, very late to the Classical Age, and he's just going to try and get as much of this food as he possibly can. He's got 2 Aurochs in his base. He's got the goats in his base, 8 goats in his base as well, so it's going to be completely fine. He did pick Bast, but decided against that one there, going in with the Anubis. I love this play here from Magic. We'll see if Mista's going to be ready for it. With the forward temple here, he's going to have to be very, very quick, smart, getting up his walls and playing very defensive against the Anubis, because it's going to be a difficult time to defend his villages against that one there. Magic does decide very early here to retreat away from his granary. Does not want to lose any villages at this point in the game, as Mista is moving in, going to start tacking down these towers here. He gets the free Valkyrie out, moving that one in. The Pharaoh is going to come in and do a little bit of chip damage while we're waiting for Magic to get to the second age. The Pharaoh is not the best at this point in the game, but the town center kind of defends this decently here, as we are seeing the Pharaoh yet again. Just going to come in, gets a big amount of damage onto the Valkyrie actually while this is all going on, but we'll see if this tower is going to go down, if this is going to do anything for Mista at this point in the game. We do see Flood of the Nile and Pickaxe coming through for Magic. That's going to give him a lot more gold income, so we'll see how he's going to use that one. He's only got the 4 villagers on the gold there, so an interesting decision to run with Pickaxe right here. I would have maybe expected to see Husbandry already. No, we don't have Husbandry yet, so a little bit confused about that one. We see the barracks coming up right away, as well as the Freya Nubite is out. We don't see an immediate Nubite here from Magic. He doesn't have the favor for it. No, he doesn't have the favor for it, so gonna have to wait on that one. Maybe gonna get Feet of the Jackal or Necropolis first, as the Nubite's gonna start roaming around. We see all of the longhouses coming down right now for Mista. An interesting decision. Sometimes we see fast second town centers in this situation when you see the delayed Classical Age from an Isis player. Sometimes we see mass longhouses with a lot of her surges trying to wall up and everything else. And essentially, Mista's got the Valkyrie here, so he's going to be able to chase the Anubite around, the initial Anubite around. He needs to make sure that Valkyrie stays alive. And he's got a ton of these Herso coming out right now. So he's going to have enough favor to build a second Valkyrie already, which is something he's really going to want to do here. He's a bit short on the food, but he's going to be able to do that fairly soon. The Anubite sitting in the back. We've got the Axemen are out already as the Urso moving in, going to be trying to push Magic off of this food here. We see the Anubite jumping in, going to get a couple of hits over here, and Mr. is going to decide to retreat away from this position as Magic has got the defense right now, but we do see these raiding cavalry are out, and here comes the Avenger. Oh, not the Avenger, the Anubite, excuse me. But there is already the Valkyrie sitting back here, getting ready to defend. The Anubite can jump in onto these villages. There's a Herso already over here. Siegfried Furnace Minder, and the Herso will immediately come over in order to defend this one. Mr. does have to be very careful. Meanwhile, he's pushing in here. We see the Plague of Serpents getting cast down, and Mr. does have to retreat away from this location. He's not going to be able to keep pushing in here at this point. And we see one villager has been sniped, but the Anubite takes a lot of damage there. So decent enough defense from Mr. I would have liked to see that Valkyrie get involved. 5.5 speed versus 5.3 speed can definitely have chased that one down. There's the Forest Fire coming in onto this location. Going to try and open this up a little bit as he does have those Herso in order to deal with those Plagues of Serpent there, but it's not really going to do all too much. You can see this Plague of Serpent, or this Serpent Snake here, is sitting next to the forest, but it's still not quite dead. So a little bit of a win here for Magic thus far. Still has his Serpents alive, has traded for Classical Age God Power, even if it is just Forest Fire here. And Mr. is simply just trying to get all of his units out right now. He's currently cut production here, whether that's because he's moving forward to a hunt location. He is moving forward to a hunt location. But he is cutting his production here and potentially thinking about going to the next age, showing up his houses. Magic's got 65 of 98 population. He's got the 3 Anubites right now, but there are a ton of Herso here. So these fights are going to be very, very difficult for Magic to like maneuver in and out of with all those Herso. The Mr. forgets that this house needs to be completed for it to actually get any value, but we are seeing Mr. continuously pushing in and out, making sure that Magic's not getting anything in this situation here. He's not going to be pushing in, not just poking in, prodding, getting that line of sight. We see the Valkyrie moving in. Got to be a little bit careful with that one. We do have the Pharaoh and the Priest in the army. I'm going to see those Spearmen and Axemen out right now. Going to take down some of these houses. Mr. with the houses in the middle of the map here. It's a little bit risky here, as this is going to be a very, very easy port of call for Magic to start sieging down. Magic's got a lot of gold in the bank, so he might be thinking about getting a second town center here or starting to farm. As now we're seeing the fight starting to happen here. The throwing Axemen, they need to focus down those Spearmen. That's the only real thing that they can do at this point. We see this Anubite here, 10 HP, going to be running away. The Herso need to get onto these. Nice jump micro here from Magic, but Mr. pulling half of Magic's army around in this fight. Really, really nice play from Mr. as the Herso getting a lot of value here onto those Anubites. Gets one snipe there. The Valkyrie in the back is getting taken out by the Pharaoh and the Priest. Magic is pushing Mr. back, though, as Mr. looks like he is simply just not able to compete with the Classical Age army of Magic at this point, and he's going to keep trying to turn around on this one. He gets a decent choke point here, but Magic is looking like he is simply just overpowering Mr. at this stage of the game. The classical fight from the ISIS is just too strong, and Magic is looking very, very good in this situation here. Even has some slingers out now to try and deal with those throwing Axemen. Mr. might be able to retreat back into his base and continue in this game. I have seen these classical fights go very, very spicily a lot of the time in this Norse matchup. We see Mr. going to be garrisoning some units into these longhouses here. Now he's starting to get some Valkyries up. So long as Mr. can keep sneaking hunt in this game, he should be okay to continue. A lot of Magic's score lead here is inflation from the favor from the myth units. It's not as big of a difference as you might think. Magic's 82 population, Mr. is 73 population, going to be grabbing his second town center right in the middle of the map. In fact, this is Mr.'s second town center. Meanwhile, we see a raid coming over here. This villager did not quite get it, and it's only on like 1 HP here. Is maybe Mr.'s going to swing around and try and get a big fight here, trying to prevent this town center from going up. If he wants to do that, he's going to have to engage really, really quickly here. He does manage to get a snipe there onto that Spearman, but it's looking like this town center is going to be up for Magic. That's going to give him a really strong foothold in the middle of the map here. Now the villagers moving forward going to start eating these Orok down here. Going to be very, very risky to be in this position. So we'll see how that's going to go. And now Magic pushing back in yet again. He still has those Anubites here, so he can still jump in, get all that damage done, and he does get in there with those Anubites. There's no Herso left, but he does have the Valkyrie. Valkyries are a very, very strong counter to these Anubites, but the Priest are starting to get built by Magic. They're not the strongest in the classical age, but the Valkyrie does only have 55% pierce armor, so they get a decent amount. You do have to somehow snipe off the Pharaoh in these fights. The Pharaoh is the big damage dealer, and it is looking like Magic is simply just outclassing Mista in this first game as the units are all out. Mista's army completely fades to nothing here. He's still got these 3 longhouses up, but Magic has a commanding lead right now. So right now, for Magic, the next port of call is simply just stabilize the 2 town centers, get Heroic Age, get Siege, and make a really big push. Mista's best hope here is to utilize the longhouses, hope Magic doesn't miss, or hope Magic misplays and can't get to the Heroic Age in a timely fashion, and repopulate his army and try and win a fight, maybe try and get a gold star, get some raids, get back into this game if he can. We do see that now, well, actually, Magic's got another option here. If Magic can get onto this gold mine, he can potentially get a gold star in this game, but at this point, just going to be taking down all the houses as Mista needs to throw those up somewhere. He is throwing them up in the kind of middle of the map right now. We'll see how this is all going to go. Another little trick you can do with Egyptian in the classical fight is you can grab these villages in order to take these longhouses down. It is a little bit inefficient if you spend more than 10 seconds attacking the longhouse to try and take it down. You're doing about 8 damage a second. You've got 10 villages, 800 damage. Not going to quite kill the longhouse, but it does look like this game Mista decided to tap out here. This one, I believe, was agreed to a loss as Magic is just simply too far in front here. Unfortunately, they decided not to continue it. And we'll move on to the next game. Hope you guys are enjoying it. And just give us a sec to get that one set up, and we'll get there very, very quickly. And we are back with game number 2 between Magic and Mista spawning the right side of the map. Obviously, we have Magic. He's going in with the Ra this game. And his opponent today in the blue color, playing as Zeus. His name is TheMista. The map is Oasis. An interesting pick here from Mista, going away from his tried and true Odin. He has been very vocal about his displeasure of the power that Zeus has got right now in the current meta, in the current game that we have here. A lot of comments that Poseidon might be the best Greek god, Hades might be the best Greek god, but Zeus has definitely felt that fall from grace here, and he does say that kind of the only reason you want to pick Zeus nowadays is for Hera. Apparently the centaur not strong enough. The town center grabbing into Hephaestus doesn't quite hit the same timings that it used to. And all of these other small things are very, very sad for the Zeus player. But we are seeing Mista going to be giving that Zeus a go in game number 2 here. Already chucking those villagers over onto wood. Oasis is a really interesting one for the Zeus player because it all kind of comes down to how good the second hunt is as to what you want to be trying to do here. And we do see some decent second hunt here. So if Mista can get enough goat in this game, he's going to be in a fantastic position. And that's exactly what we're going to be seeing. Because if you look at what the Ra player's got happening here, Magic's got happening, his Pharaoh scouts this much of the map and he sees the hunt, so he's going to be really happy with seeing the hunt, but he's only found 4 goats. And this is the absolute detrimental part of playing Ra if you don't scout enough, is that the Zeus player is simply just going to get all of the goats. He's going to scout everywhere. He's going to scout his hunt here. He's going to find the herdables. He's going to find the herdables. He's going to find all of these herdables, and that's going to help him really, really succeed with a second town center play. 2 town center play in this matchup seems to be the meta here for the Zeus player, though sometimes you might see a little bit of Athena shenanigans here. Sometimes you see Athena and it's going to be half decent in this game. We do see a relic down the bottom, the System of Bast, negative 10% villager food cost here, and we've also got the Anvil of Hephaestus. These are both kind of S tier relics here. But, well, system of the bars, maybe not so much. It feels better than it is. But if you go in 2 town centers, it does get a lot more value, I feel. So probably going to see both of those grab. Definitely Anvil Hephaestus is going to come in very, very helpful with that extra 10% off the armory for either player here can be very, very big. Especially if you're then getting Forge of Olympus on top of that. That can be absolutely huge. And now we are seeing Mr. moving up onto this hunt here. Question is, what is he really going to be going for? He's chucking a 3rd villager onto gold here, so it does kind of indicate to me that he wants to go for the 2 town center. If you're going for gold this early, probably not going to be like that. We do see the temple. The question is, does he want to go Hermes? Does he want to go Athena here? I haven't talked a lot about what Magic's going to be doing here because I think it's fairly obvious what he's going to be doing. He's going to be grabbing the 2nd town center. He probably wants to grab this one. He's got a fantastic gold mine here. Town center, Migdol, gold mine grab with a wall. Going to be very tough for Mr. to push off this one here unless he hits a really, really strong Mythic Age Underworld timing with potentially Colossus. Could be a way to go here in order to kill this this location, but it's going to be a tough one for sure for him to do that. We are starting to see some walls getting set up for Magic as he is continuing here. Unfortunately for Magic, hello? Priest empowering a temple. Little bit of a misfortune there, but it does get that one fixed up there as this game is continuing here, and Magic is going through tasks. So no surprises there. Mr. on the other hand, still not advanced just yet, getting out his Jason, wants to get a little bit of pressure onto this location. The early hero against Ra is always really, really good if they've got exposed resources. However, it does slow you down a ton going to the 2nd age, and you can see that Mr.'s not going to hit the classical age until about 404 or something like this, it looks like. Maybe 407. 408? 508? 509? It's very, very late here. It looks like actually Mr. is simply just going for the relic. So he's not even going for the harass here. And he's just going to be happy to play it slow. This is possibly going to be really, really nice for Magic. You can see he's got no wood income just yet. So he's going to grab this town center. And he's got these goat over here that can move over onto this location for him to eat. But he does have to grab that wood later. So this is a bit of a... I would say this is a bit of a dated build order from Magic. It's very, very safe, but it means he has to put these villagers over onto wood in order to get Shadoof, Husbandry, Plow, because he has none of those yet, right? Yeah, he's got none of those, just hunting dogs. So he's not really going to have that extra bonus of food that he's going to gather from the goats just yet and anything else. But we do see the armory coming down, the walls up, everything happy over here. And as Mr. is going Athena, it's going to be a little bit scary for Magic because Athena does indicate, I mean, Hoplite Doxotes, but there's going to be a town center grab here and saving that restoration for a later date. The Jason going to come in, and sometimes we see this Jason simply just get immediately shifting sanded into the base, but the Pharaoh is here. Pharaoh's got a lot of damage here, and Magic is simply just going to retreat. I'm a little bit surprised that he didn't fight this for a little bit, considering how late Mr. advanced to the classical age. Being that late, you know there's not going to be any Odysseus, so you can just simply fight this one off because you've got the stronger Pharaoh here to just attack the Jason. But he does have a couple of goats here. He's got 7 villagers on the wood trying to get himself Shadoof as fast as possible, and he should be there relatively quickly, though. The priest is feeling a little bit lazy here. Sometimes you get a bit of a bug when you build the lumber camp with the priest empowering that the priest just forgets to do anything, and you know it can be a bit sad. But Mister's gonna actually not go for a 2nd town center here. Mister's going for a 1-1-1. It's been a long time since I've seen this style of Zeus play. This is very, very old. 1-1-1 against Ra, and I think this is all about the forward gold mines here. Mr. sees these 2 forward gold mines, and he's going to think, maybe I can get a gold staff here. He's going to go for the 1-1-1 because he's going to need to defend against those chariot archers. The way to continue here correctly is to make sure you get a wall here, a wall here, a wall here, a wall here, and a wall over here. And that way you protect yourself from any raids. You just have to be able to defeat the rock shenanigans, and you'll be in a fantastic position. We do see the wall is coming up here, and Magic's got to know exactly what's coming for him in this game right now. No 2nd town center, 6 minutes and 45 seconds in. He's He's going to have to have seen these units walking into his base here. The Odysseus being a little bit of a pain. We've got the double walls getting set up onto this location here. Mister's going to realize he's not going to be able to come in onto that spot here. We've got the barracks defending this location, throwing up a watchtower. I love that from Magic, preemptively throwing up that watchtower. Now going to start throwing the farms down. The watchtower does block his farm efficiency here, but it will help out a ton with defending this location, as he is going to be completely fine here. But the question is, this is not all in from Mr. technically. He's got a way around this, and we'll see if he's going to be able to make this work, so long as he's going to be able to utilize a good use of restoration here. So we'll see how that's going to go, but Magic's going to be very, very late to the next stage. We haven't seen Magic playing. He's playing so safe here, throwing up another watchtower, making sure that this location here has got no risk of going down. He does not want to lose this gold mine at all. He loses this tower, but he's not going to mind too much about that one there. Though the opening here, very, very real. The opening here is very real for Mister to make a big push in onto this town center and get and take the town center down with a restoration if he gets out enough hoplites. But he did go 1-1-1, obviously, so unless he cuts Hippocon for a little bit, he's not going to really be able to have the massive hoplites he's going to need. And he needs around about 15 to really push in and take down a town center. And once he's got 15, get that medium infantry out and then make a push with restoration. And you should be able to take it down. And because Magic's going so slowly here, he's got no units out, and he hasn't started building any. He's going to be able to cast rain at some point. Maybe hold off on the rain. Probably not. How's the upgrades going? Still no plow. Is the plow coming out? Not yet. Magic, no plow. Very, very big mistake from Magic. Is now Mr. swinging around onto this location. I think this is the wrong location to be attacking here for Mr. I think taking down this town center is going to be much, much easier. But we'll see what's going to happen here. Mr. is very smart. So the way that he's going to push in, if he decides to attack this location, is to send the Minotaur first. That's going to let the town center, or force the town center to start attacking the Minotaur, and then he's going to be able to push everything else in afterwards in order to take down these barracks. And he should be able to take down a lot of the barracks in order to trade for that town center damage here, as we are seeing him move in. Oh, can he sneak in? He is totally trying to sneak it. Now you've got to kill the barracks. Mister is going completely nuts here, walking right in onto this location. Do we have crenellations? We do not have crenellations. Mister's got so many units here in this location. He's got 99 population, going to be taking down the watchtower. We see some mercenary coming out. The mercenary are no good just yet, but the Minotaur is just about to fall here as the Pharaoh is going to take that one down. We've even got medium infantry on this location. How many hoplite? We've got 9 hoplite going after these villages, completely nullifying this rain from Magic, and Magic is building nothing in this game here so far. The villagers pop out of the town, so I'm going to try and fend this one off for the time being. Magic, he's got 4 farms getting grabbed here during this rain. The villagers all chilling inside the town center. He's going to keep popping in and out. Mister's going to keep fighting this one off. He's just waiting out the rain before he can restoration here. More units flooding in for Mister here as these villagers just keep dropping in and out. He's trying to fend this one off, but it's probably just not going to work here, as these hoplites from Zeus are going to be so very strong. There's the shifting sands into the base of Magic, and Magic is going to be trying to force this one out, but Mister uses restoration here. No, don't want to use restoration. These units are going to be able to get away from this, but at what cost? Magic is almost able to advance. He is going up through Hathor, but the problem is here, where does Magic get gold? He doesn't need to get gold just yet. He can go everything onto this wood line, or this wood line at the back here, and be okay. And he is going to go straight after this town center. There's no reason to not rush this town center down here. How many hoplites has he got? He's got 10 hoplites. You can easily take the town center down at this in this location. We are seeing the town center sneakily target down those Toxotes in the back, but all the villagers currently jumping onto the berry bushes here, as Mister is going to be able to clean this town center up. But Magic, he's not going to give up that easily here. He's going to be able to get the market up. He's going to the next stage. It's a very, very late heroic age here, obviously, from the pressure that Mister has put on at this point. But we do see the town center going down. These barracks will all get cleaned up, and Magic is going to need to go in with a pure Chariot army in this game. If he can manage to make this work, it's going to be another one of those crazy comebacks that we've seen Magic do time and time again. There's the Hathor, there's the Market. He doesn't quite have enough resources just yet in order to get the Migdol out. So we'll see what he's going to do with that one. He's definitely can't put it out in the open because Mr. can simply just rush that down with those hoplites. The question is, what's Mr. doing right now? He is going for a second town center, getting that one up. He's getting his third town center actually here. So he's thinking, got to stay in the classical age here. One thing I actually would have preferred here from Mr. maybe would have been slightly more optimal is he had enough food with the rest of these goats to get to the heroic age. If he gets to the heroic age, he can then throw everything onto gold and then buy a mythic age through Hera, and then all the chariot archers that Magic buys are going to get lightning stormed when they start pushing out, and you can easily just hold off with the Bellerophon and the Medusa at that point with all of the army that you've got currently out. But he hasn't gone for that, and instead he's just gone for the safe route, going for those 3 town centers, getting the big boom happening. When you're ahead, get more ahead, as they always say. But now Magic here is going to start slowly but surely selling wood and just living the dream here with his chariot, camelries, and everything else. 63 population for Magic, Mr. 106 population. He's cutting all of the production here. It's just making the Hippocons. So it is looking like maybe Magic's going to be able to get to the heroic age after all, and he will be able to do so if he just cuts a villager or something. But he's almost out of the herdables here, just 70 food left. And again, this is what I was talking about at the start of the game. Can't give your opponent all these herdables if you play Ra. And here we go, able to advance. Probably going to go through Apollo here just to make sure he can come up to the top of the map, the bottom of the map, and the middle of the map. Make sure he can secure those locations. Still no walls from from Mr. here, which is a bit of a surprise. And we do see Apollo. We're starting to see the farms coming out for Mr. Villagers coming over onto wood, and he's going to have to just slowly transition into the into those farms. We see plow coming through, so all the good things. Raids coming in for Magic here. He's going to be looking for a locust. Mr. has separated his villages fairly decent here onto all these different locations, so it's probably not going to be a brutal game-ending locust here, as Mr.'s playing around that very, very nicely. We do see the cavalry coming in, going to snipe a villager or 2 here. Nice play, but right now Magic can make a little bit of a move out onto this gold mine here if he so chooses, because right now Mr. has to chase around the units because he didn't set those walls up. Big mistake here. The Batsukos is in on this location, just currently chilling here, just being like, what's going on? I just going to make this down center completely idle here, and it's going to be fine. We see the Hippocon chasing these chariots, the cavalries away, as Magic is just looking for some avenue to attack here. More chariot archers grouping up on this location. We see the Apollo coming through for Mr., as he's got a very, very strong foothold on this game. Meanwhile, the Hippocon pushing through here. We see the Locust. Oh, I love this Locust from Magic. This Locust here is actually really, really painful for Mr. because he's going to lose the majority of these farms, and that's a lot of wood here that Mr's going to want to be using for something else, like fortified town centers, like masons, like archers, like a fortress, all the other good things. But while that's going on, Mr. catches Magic's army out here. Really, really nice play from Mr. He's continuously getting further and further ahead in this game. Magic does get his second town center back, but Mr's in such a good position right now. All he has to do is convert in this point. He's got the Manticore here as well. Absolutely brutal myth unit to have at this stage of the game, because Magic doesn't really have any answer to it. He needs basically mass Batsukos here, and he's got no gold income. As how much is this selling for right now? He's selling 100 wood for 46 gold, and now the villagers are moving over here onto this large gold mine. We don't have shaft mine for Magic, as Mr. is cleaning everything up over here very, very nicely. We see the Wadget coming out right now for Magic, and he's very, very struggling right now. But we'll see if the Wadget spam is going to be enough. Sometimes the Wadgets can be very underutilized and very, very strong if you can get enough of them out. But now we are seeing those Hippocon coming in onto this location. Magic should be able to start making some more camelry here at this point, but the villagers getting pulled off. Does he have Skin of the Rhino? No Skin of the Rhino, but the Hippocon are going to get pushed away from here, as Mr. is kind of fumbling this fight just a little bit. Nice micro from Magic as these Wadgets are starting to come out onto like more of a mass here, but the The Jason is here. He's going to be causing a little bit of a nuisance here for this Wajan. Does manage to snipe one as the villager's going to be chasing this one down, sniping that one off. And the Manticore still pushing in, trying to take down these chariots, doing some very, very nice damage here. The Toxotes all falling. And Magic manages to hold for the time being, throwing up a siege works on this location. Somehow Magic is alive. What's Mister's plan, though? Is he going to the next stage? He's got his market up. He's got some more military buildings coming through here, chucking up the archery range, making more Toxotes. Bit of a surprise to see Toxotes at this point in the game. Normally, we wait a little bit longer for the Toxotes in this matchup. He's making some Peltast. Oh, Mister's making Peltast, the one unit that he says is completely useless. He's going to be making it in this game. He's like, I'm going to make it because you're making pure chariots. I'm making my Peltast. No need to micro if you've got no units to boot here. As we see him pushing in nice micro yet again from Magic. As Magic is simply put, just trying to micro his way back into this game. And we'll see if he's going to be able to do it. Siege works coming up. We see Migdol Stronghold coming down to try and secure this town center. Mister is possibly going to be fully popped villager-wise here, whereas Magic is just simply fully popped here, not fully popped villager-wise. But he will get this Migdol up very, very quickly here. I actually wouldn't mind him trying to sneak the town center first at this point because his army is currently getting chased down. But these Peltas, they just die so quickly to the chariot archers. Nice micro yet again from Magic, continuously sniping off units. There's the heavy chariots as well. Absolutely huge in these fights, but the Manticore are out. So there's a good amount of defense right now for these chariot archers here. Now Magic's got the Migdol up. He's going to feel comfortable trying to take this town center for himself. He's got a lot of villagers here. 9 villagers plus the Pharaoh town center. He's going to shoot up very, very fast here. But Mister is just about to click up. He's got he's very close to the next stage. You can even sell some of that food for some gold here. It does sell decently well at 60-ish. And there we go. He's going up through Hephaestus. No risky play here. No Hera. Just wants to make sure he's got a very solid late game. Here we see these villagers coming up onto this location. Mister's going to try and wall this off over here. Holding on to this location here as the villagers moving here onto the lumber camp. Going to hold on to this one. The best that they can, but these villagers should get this wall up, and controlling the corners here in this matchup, very important. Very, very important indeed. And now we see the Hippocon. They're going to actually move up to the top of the map because Mister does see Magic's villagers. This is going to be an absolutely brutal raid. This tree line here is actually completely safe, basically, for Magic, and Magic is going to be retreating here. Sees that one coming, but meanwhile, the fight happening over here, Mister decides he has to retreat as the units mass from Magic is just a little bit too much. And wonder how far Magic is from the next stage. He's getting himself fortified town centers. He needs to get to Osiris as fast as he possibly can here. Otherwise, the Colossus will come. The Heliopolis will come. And it's going to be really hard for him to defend those two units with basically pure chariots here. Do we see a fortress up for Mister? We do not see the fortress up for Mister. Do we have enough resources? Yes, we have enough favor here for Forge of Olympus. So that's going to be absolutely huge. So he's going to get those armory upgrades very quickly. And once he gets those, he's going to be so ridiculously far in front of Magic in this game. But Magic pushing in. Let's just looking to take a fight here. Ooh, nice little splash damage there by those Manticore from Mister. And he just pulls away, gets the damage done, pulls away. And now Magic is going to be looking to push forward here as Mister is trying to bide his time. He's got that timing he talks about. He's got that timing. He needs to get those those Forge of Olympus, those upgrades up, those armory upgrades up in order to really feel comfortable fighting the Ra army at this point. Look at that splash damage there from the Manticore. So much damage. Really nice play. The Plenty Vault does come down in the base here. We've got an immediate Forge of Olympus coming through, and I wouldn't be surprised to see immediate Bellerophon out as well. There it is, coming through for Mister and Magic. He is trying to push in here, but this is the defensive location that Mister has spammed out here. We've got the Colossus coming in. That's going to be able to tank those chariot archers really, really nicely. The Peltas, in their classic fashion, targeting down a cavalry because that's what they do naturally. They don't target the chariot archers, but as soon as they start microing, Magic does decide to get that retreat coming in, trying to snipe down some more units here going after the hoplites. But The Peltas now finally getting the value that they were designed for. Going to completely decimate this Chariot Archer army, and Magic is really, really struggling to continue in this game, making Chariot Archers cavalry, and that's about it. Tons of villagers on this gold mine. The gold mine is almost out at this point, but now Bellerophon is through. Bellerophon is such a difficult unit to deal with if you don't have cavalry or spearmen for the Egyptian player. If you basically just have maybe like Elephant Chariot Archer, can be so hard to kill the Bellerophon. He jumps in, he kills your myth units, he just leaves, and you feel sad. He jumps in, and your Chariot Archers start targeting him. He starts running away, and you miss all of those shots. Very, very sad. So we'll see how this is all going to go, as Mr. is simply just biding his time. Look at this wall. This wall is absolutely hilarious here from Magic, blocking in this location. Here is the market trying to come up, and Mr. is setting up military academies up in the top corner, making sure that no market is created, no efficient market is created for Magic here. But Mr. still hasn't started his own market just yet. Obviously, he's just trying to get those upgrades coming through. He's getting them right now with copper weapons. He's got a lot of resources in the bank. How is his armory's upgrades looking? He's got copper mail, copper shields, and there's the Bellerophon flying in. Champion infantry has come through. He's making Myrmidon now. Oh, dearie me, Myrmidon, such an obnoxiously strong unit at this point in the game with no Axeman out. Basically forces Magic to have to tech switch into Axeman, and I'm not sure he's going to be able to do it. Keeps on managing to bait the Bellerophon jump, though. I'm not sure if there's like a way he's doing that, but Bellerophon coming in, going to be able to tank a lot of damage here. There's the Osiris for Magic, somehow, some way, managing to get the Osiris out. And the Osiris is going to be able to take down the Colossus very, very quickly here. But the Bellerophon has got his eyes set here onto the... I thought it was onto the Son of Osiris, but he decides to jump on the cavalry here. But here we go. Bellerophon does go down. Mister's army is getting pushed back, and Magic is still managing to hold on in this game as the mummy's coming through. And Magic is... It's just, what is this game right now? Chariot Archer's pushing back here. Still, he's got copper weapons, but that's about it. Mister has got full bronze here with Champion Myrmidon. These units are so ridiculously strong. The economy from Mister is huge. He does need to start thinking about that trade route, though, with 1,500 food in the bank. That's the natural progression here. This mummy here needs to get sniped by the Odysseus here. The Son of Osiris will get a ton of damage done, but the Myrmidon, they tank so much with 55% hack armor right now with all their upgrades. They're only taking about 30 damage a shot, a little bit less from the Son of Osiris here, so he can simply just bum rush that Son of Osiris if he so chooses. And now we are seeing the Son of Osiris trying to target down the enemy Odysseus here, but the Myrmidon chasing the Son of Osiris away as Magic is trying to trade efficiently here, but it's so hard for him. He's got next to no gold in the bank. His economic upgrades, no shaft mine. It's fine to not have quarry, but you cannot be playing this game with no shaft mine. That's why he's got no gold in the bank with 30 villagers on gold. 128 population to Mister's 152 population here. Meanwhile, up at the top of the map, I'm not sure if he sees this or not, but these military academies are basically all set up, and it is just looking like there's the Bellerophon coming through. Iron Shields comes through as well for Mister. He's got so many upgrades here as the Heracles coming through, going to bash the Son of Osiris down as he retreats back into the town center here, and there is no population left for Magic. 115 population here, next to no gold. The Toxotes coming through, taking everything down. Axemen are starting to come out now for Magic, but for him to trade efficiently, he basically needs Champion, Axemen, and equivalent armory upgrades, because the Champion Myrmidon just completely destroyed them anyways. 70 HP. Decent hack armor, but 70 HP. Still going to die in a couple of shots, even though the Axemen deal roughly the same damage to the Myrmidon. And we see them coming back in as Magic he's still trying to fight, but I'm not seeing him doing anything special over here in terms of side builds. Just trying to hold on. We see the villagers pulling off the gold mine now, and Magic does end up tapping out here in the 23rd minute of this game. GG. Well played by Mister, winning game number 2 here, leveling the series. Apparently, I didn't put the score up. Let's go ahead and fix that one, because I'm good at this. Let's fix that up. We've got the game for Mister and a game for Magic. Leveling the series 1-1. Really nice play from Mr. I love the aggressive Zeus play here, coming in, pushing off this town center. Very, very nice play. The 1-1-1, haven't seen that in a very long time. Worked a treat in this game for Mr. And that all came down to simply all of the hurtables, essentially, that Mr. got, which Magic didn't. If Magic had gotten some of those hurtables, he probably would have been able to get to the roller cage a little bit faster, been a little bit easier of a game for him, but nothing happened of that, and that was the game. Well played. We'll move on to game number 3 very, very shortly. If you are enjoying this one, do consider hitting the follow, and we'll just get that next game going very, very quickly. And we are back with game number 3 here of this best of 5 show match. In the left side of the map, we do have Magic spawning his Isis here. His opponent today in the right-hand side of the map in the blue color playing as Odin. It is TheMista. Will we be seeing a similar situation that we saw in game number 3 here with the Anubis versus Freya classical fight where Magic managed to completely run over Mister's Odin? Or will Mister go for something different, Magic go for something different? It is a completely different map. We've got a lot of goats getting grabbed here early for Mister. This is very important against Isis, against the Anubis, but more importantly, Rhinoceros in the home base, very, very nice. Magic, he's got Rhinoceros over here as well. Pretty decent little start for both players here. Throwing villagers over onto the gold nice and quickly, as it's going to be looking like early monuments, early temple potentially. The priest going to be scouting around, going to throw up that initial obelisk here. Let's check the map out just a little bit. He finds his hunt with the first obelisk. Magic navigating the difficulties of Isis incredibly well in this series thus far. The first game, obviously, Tundra, a little bit less of an issue with the consistency factor. But on Savannah, if you only scout with the priest, a lot of the time you can miss this second hunt here. So finding that second hunt is going to be huge. We've also got the Eye of Horus here. Combine that with the Isis unique population bonus, and you can get yourself plus 15 extra population on your opponent with this technology, which that's ridiculous. Did I do the math right then? I feel like I didn't. It must be right. Plus 15 population, you get plus 9, plus 6. Absolutely insane. We'll see how this is going to go. And Mr. pumping the units out. He's still in the same build order as last game, or the first game, I should say. So we'll see how it's going to go. Monument to the Villagers coming up. We've also got this relic on the bottom of the map. The Mithril Horseshoes. The Mithril Horseshoes. Both relics here, very, very good for each respective player. Obviously, Eye of Horus is good for anyone. But Eye of Horus with Isis is just like, oh, I'm just basically a town center in front of my opponent. It's not fortified, but I do have a town center more in terms of population. So we'll see how that's going to affect this game, if it affects this game at all. I'm honestly surprised that Magic wouldn't just move his Pharaoh out to make sure he grabs that. Oh, the villager almost going down. He's going to be making a run for it. And he does get stuck. Oh, that was so close. 5 HP was so close to falling. Magic manages to, the Magic's villager manages to live another day. My golly gosh. You see the villagers dumping this hunt into the granary, doing all the good stuff here. As Mr. is simply just enjoying life. 6 villagers on food. And he goes for the Forward Temple again. It looks like Mr.'s been taking a page out of Soup's book. Now, the thing about, look, from my perspective,